Tervehdys, minä olen Monotoni ja nyt pelaillaan The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxea lisää. Okei, se kysyy taas aikaa. Juu, mutta sitten laitetaan sille oikea aika. Sehän kysyy favorite timea. Juu, okei. Your favorite time of the day, or you can simply not resist giving me the correct time again. Niin, mä tykkään niin paljon laittaa sen oikean ajan siihen. Kuinka tarkka se 5.46 on? Hups. Siinä muuten lukee PM. Täytyy sanoa, että se on todella epätarkka. Selvä. Joo. It's good to collect data. Ahaa. Was more sliders. No niin, mitähän se nyt kyselee? Okei. Noniin, mitä sieltä tulee? Okei. Ovelaa. Okei, katsotaan mihin me joudutaan.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was
Joo, hypätään sen yli. Me tiedetään kyllä, missä se työskenteli. Okei. Eli me ollaan uuden kontentin alueella. Mitä se nyt tarkoittaakaan, niin...
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Okei, tässä on kyykky. Tää on vähän epäilyttävää.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Okay.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Kuulin tästä pelistä ekaa kertaa, viime vuonna, toissa vuonna. Paljonkohan se on mennyt aikaa? Audience Award. Niin, kai jotain oikeita palkintojakin on saanut. Memory Lane. CD. Tätä tuskin koskaan julkaistiin niin. Tää sitä demosta. Achievementteja. Okei, jatketaan eteenpäin. Noin.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, Where so
Oikeesti?
many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Joo, hyvä. Pääsee eteenpäin. Okei, sinne ei pääsekään. Outoa.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Joo. Ai. Ei jatketakaan eteenpäin.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Varmasti.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them. Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
Tää oli huono
This is
reitti
actually
valita.
quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto.
Saadaanko me
I
skip
do anything
näppäin?
for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this.
Koska pitäis
The
painaa.
story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
Juu, jatketaan.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by...
Joo.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen
Niin,
there.
hei, tuo on kello
I
muuten.
don't know why the
Siirtyykö
skips
sekin?
are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Oh, Stanley.
Juu, kyllä se siirtyy.
You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just
Ei
sitting
täällä edes
here,
nähnyt mitään
not a
enää.
single person to speak with. And you'd think that
Joo. Paljonkohan tätä pitää painella?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've
Ei, se
been
ovi on
through.
kadonnut.
I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year?
Nyt oli enää uloskäyntiä se tilassa.
To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of
Kuluukohan kohta niin paljon aikaa, että koko rakennus murenee ympäriltä tai jotain. Ei sijaa. Okei. Se kello on tippunut lattialle. Onko se loppunut parista?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave.
Hei! Oliko toi kasvi aina tossa?
The end is never the end, 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 is never...
Noniin. Okei, tätä on jo vähän odoteltukin. Joo, jatketaan. Voi hyvänen aika. Itse asiassa ihan nättiä. Mut Ei vieläkään mitään. Vähän nyt venytellään taas vitsejä. Oho. Hei. Uloskäynti. Ja tää... Pikkasen verran hämää, kun huone on viinossa. Voiko sitä vieläkin painaa? Okei. Tää näyttää kusiselta tilanteelta. Oletettavasti mihin suuntaan vaan, niin... Vai pitäisikö toi huone kiertää, jos sen seinällä olisi jotain? Tai katolla. Joo, siinä oli varmaan vaan aikaraja, että paljonko tuossa pystyy seikkailemaan.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okei. Ehkä täällä on uutta kontenttia.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Onks tää se sama kuin... Olikohan toi samanlainen ovi kuin mihin mä viimeksi menin?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned
Joo,
out
voi
to be.
hitto, nyt tää on
The
taas
original
tätä...
Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up
Nytkö
to
mennään
that
taas tällä
legacy.
hissillä ja sitten
So
taas nyt
forget
samat
this
typeryydet
ultra
tässä välissä.
deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further, which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Ei.
Yes, you
Okei, tää oli
see, isn't
uutta.
this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe.
Ja tänään kyllä onnistu menee sellaiselle
But the Stanley Parable
polulle,
2,
mikä ei
now
kiinnosta
that's
paskavertaa.
an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around
mitäs
them.
siinä oli?
It'll all work itself
Half-Life
out.
2.
Game development is much more
hyvä,
of a fuzzy
mutta
magic
jos
than
originaali
anything
on
scientific or logical.
originaali. Doom 2, todella hyvä. Ja muita en... Portal 2 en olekaan pelannut. Ja muita... Tai pelannut läpi. Olen mä sitä vähän aloittanut. Joo.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the
Mitähän
game.
tapahtuu?
Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Aha.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Voi hyvän aika.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Odotetaan hetki. Mut joo, ainakin tämän kerran perusteella sanoisin, että ehkä tää ei ole mun peli. Tai sitten mä vaan onnistuin löytää niin kuin tylsimmät mahdollisimmat reitit tälle päivälle.
What a thrill, what a rush, that was you! The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button.
Oh, no.
I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away.
Jim.
Otherwise,
Jim.
soon you'll start
Jim.
to lose all
Jim.
sense of who
Jim.
you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim.
Se meni vaan lattian läpi. Just. No, katsotaan mitä muuta tällä alueella on. Onnistuin löytää se historia-alueen ja sitten tämmöisen, no,
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
tämmöisen vähän tuo samankaltaisen paskanjauhantahuoneen, niin ei nyt oikein niinku pull the lever, receive your achievements.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Selvä. Ei sieltä saanutkaan achievementtia. Ellei sitten pidä rynkyttää, ties kuinka kauan. Mitäs se? Joo, se on ton verran.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Miten tällä pääsis vaan pois?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling.
Yay.
You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video. You see? Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top.
Onkohan tää oikeasti pohja?
Do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Oi vitsi. No.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Joo, mutta miten täältä pääsisi niin oikeasti pois tältä alueelta? Jaa, tonne ei pääse. Infinite hole chart. Selvä. The jump circle. Yay.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle?
Niin.
Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
That's new collectibles. Hyvänen aika. Hei, tässä on joku kartta. Exit. You are here. Go on infinite hole. Joo, eli exitin pitäisi olla ehkä tuolla päin. Eihän siellä ole mitään. Juu. Tää on sen verran paskaa luetta eteenpäin.
Oh, goodness. Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to both the exhibits for the bucket and the collectibles. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves both of them. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles and the bucket. Okay?
Collectibles and the bucket.
All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Joo. No, käydään pikaseen siellä.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Yay.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Mitäs tää reassurance bucket sitten on?
A common complaint of the Stanley parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart.
Joo, mutta
It's true.
ämpäri.
As long
Hei,
as you
kato,
hold
siellä
on
tuli
the
ämpäri.
bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of
Skip-näppäin
jarring
olisi voinut olla hyvä
cognitive
pysyvä
dissonance while
ominaisuus
the
tähän.
bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Jei.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more.
Tää selitys vaan menee
Stanley
on.
Parable
Kyllä
2.
nyt on niinku, joo. Jei, pääsekö nyt exittiin? Tää on yhtä tuskaa.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Jääkö tää ämpäri nyt sitten käteen ikuisiksi ajoiksi? Okei.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Okay. Wow. Siisti efekti. Tähän nyt palataanko alkuun?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okei, palattiin jonkinnäköiseen alkuun. Joo. Okei. Menut on muuttunut kenties pysyvästi, kuka tietää. Mut joo, voi hitto, kyllä oli muuten paskaa tällä kertaa. Ei voi muuta sanoa. Tehdään tästä vielä yksi jakso ehkä mahdollisesti, jos mä löydän jotain hyvää täältä. Mutta siis tää oli nyt, mä asuin sellaiselle reitille, että se oli pelkkää sontaa tai historiajuttuja ja tommosia surkeita vitsejä. Ja katsoa, jos löytäisi jotain mindfuckia tänne, että niinku sellainen reitti olisi kiva. Mut joo. Kiitoksia katselemisesta ja se on moro.